So today we're going to be looking at a new product by COBRA. This is the RAD 700i radar detector. This detector features premium detection for laser, radar, and also app support. First, we're going to take a look at what you get in the box. Then we're going to walk you through the features and the settings.
And as always, I'd like to remind you that I place a link in the description down below to this radar detector in case you want to get one for yourself. And now let's take a closer look at the RAD 700i. And on the front of the unit, we get radar detection as well as laser detection, and we also have laser detection for the rear of the vehicle. And on the left side, we have a combination dial that allows us to turn on the radar detector and also allows us to adjust the volume level of it. And on the right side, we have the input for power and a micro USB connection so we can update the firmware and database of this unit. And for mounting, they have included the suction cup, which mounts magnetically to the radar detector. Then we can place the radar detector on the windshield and then lock it in place. The advantage of the magnetic mount is that we can quickly remove the radar detector off the vehicle or reinstall it fairly quickly. Additionally, the mount supports tilt adjustment so we can aim the radar detector correctly and then lock that position in place. And we also get 5 quick access buttons to control the radar detector and a multicolor display. And to power the radar detector, they have included the cigarette lighter adapter with a cord length of approximately 6 feet. But now let's move over to the vehicle so I can show you the rest of its features.
Testing. System ready.
First off, you can see that we have an indicator for the sensitivity level. Right now it's currently set to low. We also have the speed, and we also have an indicator that the auto mute function is on. We can also change the sensitivity with the button on the top. Auto is going to be primarily used if we are using the app.
Sensitivity high.
High is going to be primarily used for highway driving.
Sensitivity medium.
Medium.
Low.
Our low are going to be primarily for city use to reduce false alerts. And currently the brightness is set to the maximum, but we can lower that with the dim button.
Dim. Dimmer. Dark.
And dark is interesting because this can potentially be used for driving at night. Notice what happens to the screen. Most of the indicators turns off, and the only thing we have is this tiny little bar right here, very dim, but at night is bright enough for us to see and to tell that the radar detector is working. But let's also talk about the auto mute function, which allows the radar detector to alert you at full volume and then lower the volume after that initial threat has been detected. However, if you wanted a quieter drive, you can hold down this button for 2 seconds.
Quiet drive on.
And that enables the quiet mode, which lowers further the audio notifications of this radar detector in case you wanted to have a conversation with somebody in the vehicle or perhaps a phone call. Holding this button down for 2 seconds again.
Quiet drive off.
Turns off the quiet drive feature. And if we were to spot any kind of speed enforcement, we can hold down the mark button for 2 seconds.
Location saved.
And that location has now been flagged as having speed enforcement in it. Moving over to the settings menu, it has been divided into user, GPS, and alert settings. Let's go inside of user. In user settings, we have detail, less or more. And this is the information that is shown on the screen when there is an alert detected. If we leave it on more, we're gonna get all the information, radar band, signal strength, and frequency. If we leave it on less, we're gonna get a simplified display where it's only gonna show us low, medium, or high in terms of how likely real that alert is that we have picked up. The next option is gonna be quiet drive, which by default is off, but you can turn it on. Again, this is gonna minimize the audio alerts that you are hearing. The next option is going to be the auto mute option, which I like to leave on. And what this does, again, this is going to automatically lower the volume of an alert after a few dings. Voice allows us to turn off the voice prompts that we hear every time we change a setting on the radar detector. We can also change the language between English or Espanol. The next option is going to be color, and we have 5 of them to choose from. We get the yellow color, we get a red color, we have a blue color, we have a green color, and finally we get a white color. And the next option is gonna be screensaver. If you don't wanna have all the information shown on your screen all the time, you can have a screensaver come on after 1 minute or 3 minutes. And what this does, this is gonna turn off most of the icons that you see on the screen and just leaving you with a very small indicator that the radar detector is working, which is convenient if you don't wanna have everybody that's driving behind you know that you have a radar detector. And the next option is gonna be smart power, which is gonna be off by default because most vehicles only provide power to the radar detector when the car is running. However, if your vehicle provides power to the radar detector all the time, you wanna turn this function on, and this allows the radar detector to enter low power mode when you turn off your car. And when you turn your vehicle back on again, the radar detector is gonna resume normal power consumption. Moving over to GPS settings, we are able to switch between kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Next up is speed mute, and here we can tell the radar detector at what point, at what speed do we want the alerts to start. If we want to have those alerts be muted below a certain speed, we can customize that setting right here. Next setting is going to be speeding alert. If you want to be notified that you have exceeded a particular speed, you can set that option here. Next option is going to be speed camera alerts, where you want to have those on or off. We also have light camera alert if you want to have that alert on or off. And we also get a caution area alert. And we also have a speed trap option if we want to be alerted about those. And if we want to have the auto learn function, which allows the radar detector to minimize false alerts by auto learning the different frequencies that are detected in your area. Next option is lockout, which allows the radar detector to lock out what it believes are false alerts. That way you don't get that alert again in the future. However, if you do not want the radar detector to lock out any frequencies, you can turn that function off. We can also turn off the user location feature, and we can also delete any locations that we have manually marked as having a speed enforcement by going into delete all locations. Again, these are locations that we flagged as potentially having speed enforcement. Maybe they are not there anymore. We can clear them from the radar's memory. And finally, on the alert settings, we can customize which radar bands we want to be on or off. This is convenient if you know that a particular radar band is not being used in your area. We can turn those on or off. We have full control over the X band, K low band, K band, KA band, and also the ability to turn off or on laser detection. And finally, we can also turn on or off a low voltage battery warning.
Warning. Low car voltage. Power off.
And the RAD 700i supports the Drive Smarter app, which is available for Apple and Android devices. And with this app, we can get alerts from other radar detectors and laser detectors that are using the app as well. And we also have the ability to access the COBRA radar detector and change some of its settings. And we can do that with the little gear icon. As you can see, these are the same settings that I showed you earlier on the radar detector. We can change them in the app, which is going to be convenient if you want to adjust any of them on a larger screen. But one thing I would really like them to improve on is the length of the power cable, as normally it will travel down that A pillar and then down into the footwell area, finally popping out somewhere over here so I can connect it into my 12-volt outlet. However, because this cable is too short, I can only partially hide it or partially tuck it in. I have to leave it somewhere hanging like that so it can reach the center of my vehicle. Now, my situation is even worse because there is no 12-volt outlet in the center right here. The 12-volt outlet is actually located all the way back here in the armrest, so it does not reach if I try to partially hide the cable. And if you want to run the radar detector on the center of the windshield, the situation is going to be even worse because now there's even a longer distance that the cable has to travel before it can reach the outlet of your vehicle. And if we are not looking to hide that cable and we're okay with that cable just hanging like that, then there is definitely enough length for that cable to reach an outlet located in this area or an outlet located in this area right here.
And for some real live testing, the 700i was able to alert of speed enforcement at over 2,000 feet. And here's the map showing the details of the test with the radar detector on the far left and speed enforcement on the far right. And in case you want to see the actual video of the event, stick around to the end of the video. And as far as false alerts in city driving, in my testing, I found them very minimal to almost none. Typical automatic door openers don't seem to trigger this radar detector as much as my old detector used to do. That being said, I run my radar detector on auto, which allows the detector to increase or decrease the sensitivity based on the speed of the car. So remember, I placed a link to this radar detector on the description down below. And if you guys have any other questions, put them in the comments as well. If you found any part of this video helpful, hit the like button to support our channel and stay tuned as we got more cool car products coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.